How many different ways have you been told to lose 20 pounds of belly fat? The goal for a lot of those companies is to truly make money off of you. My goal is to help you eliminate confusion by having a bulletproof plan. You also have to want what that want leads to. This is something that you have to take 100% complete ownership. There's a permanent way, a solution-based way, a guaranteed approach, and one that's just going to leave you unsatisfied when the 20 pounds of belly fat come back on. Hello and welcome to the Brave Today podcast. This show is going to encourage, challenge, maybe even provoke you to step outside of your comfort zone and take more action to better improve yourself and your health. I'm your host, Mark Avens, and in this crazy upside down world that just seems to keep pushing a narrative to become softer, weaker, sicker, unhealthier, and truly more dependent than ever. The goal and intent of this show is to help you navigate through this so that you can become braver today than you were yesterday. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are all doing amazing. Hope you had a phenomenal week. This month is going by pretty darn quick. I don't know if you guys experience that as well. I think it's something that when we get older, just time goes by faster, right? So I don't know if you're feeling me on that. I can't believe that we're already midway through October. It's 2.5 months away from the end of the year. I know I'll quit while I'm ahead, but welcome to today's training, how to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat. If you want to know how to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat, you're in the right place. Your host, Mark Avens, here of the Brave Today podcast. We're going to have some amazing guests come on, really truly going to be sharing the core elements of what it means to be brave in this world today. And if you are interested, or you're a podcast, or maybe you listen when you're out at the gym or walking, I just want you to know that I couldn't do it without you. So I thank you. And really, truly, I just want to reach more women and actually more people in general, just coming into the season of life I'm at. I know, you can leave a mark, and you can leave a good mark or a not so good mark or no mark at all. And I want to leave a good mark. Haha, no pun intended. But welcome to today. I'm going to jump right in. Today in the training, we're going to be talking about some core really elements, not of the Brave program, but more on how it is truly something that it does take being a bit brave to truly get the weight off, right? To get the belly fat. It's also brave to some extent to carry around an extra 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds. Today, I want to really just dive in the next 20 minutes. I do want to say thank you. I appreciate you for taking the time, but I want you to know that I don't take it lightly. So I want to make sure, I do this purely to reach out to more of you. My team works really hard behind the scenes, and ultimately, it is my goal to help you get results, whether you're just listening from afar. Maybe you've been kind of keyed in for maybe a little while, maybe 3-6 months. You've been listening. Is this guy for real? Is it valuable? Well, none of it's going to be valuable, I'll be honest. I can share this training and give you even all of my best insider secrets to what it takes to truly get in the best shape of your life. But if you don't apply that knowledge is wasted without it being applied. And being able to apply it requires you to take action. So my hopes are today, after you learn, if you just take one component of this to taking action, maybe tomorrow or maybe the next day, or maybe today, you get something and you run out of the door and you're like, you know what, if I just apply this one thing, it's going to value me and my body and my health. And you will be pleasantly surprised that nothing that I share with you, again, is quackery or fake. It's all truly from the last almost 30 years of experience training clients back in the mid-90s, yes, when I was in school for physical therapy. And not to bore you with kind of my background, I've been through the spectrum of fitness and health and wellness and weight loss and gyms and training and group fitness, and even being a fitness instructor at one point. I didn't wear leotards, but I did wear bike shorts when I taught spinning for about a decade back in the mid-90s. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that. Let's jump in. If you're here, you're ready, and you want to learn how to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat. All right, so let's do this. So I want you to write the word melt, M-E-L-T. I want you to write that down on a piece of paper. We're going to jump right in. I'm actually going to give you the secret right away before we even get into the training. So MELT. If you have notes, hopefully you're taking notes. I like to use, well, I don't have a yellow, but I like to use legal pads. Those are my favorite. I like to flip them. I don't know. I feel important, like a really smart lawyer, and they have like the legal pad because I don't know, something that goes with that. So you got meltdown. So the first and foremost, the M, I want you to put next to the M, master. You have to master in order for you to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat. Now don't worry, because like you're like, master, like how am I going to do this? But just hear me out. You need to master the art of having a powerful why. You see, truly, if you don't have this, and I say master the art of having a powerful why, because you actually do need to evolve. Your whys probably will change over time, right? They're probably different. The reason why you want to get in shape and maybe be tight and toned in your 20s is going to be different than in your 30s, different in your 40s. Maybe you're just surviving your 30s when you had kids. Maybe in your 50s now you're realizing, wow, my why is different. Maybe you have different goals. Maybe your kids are out of the house now, like mine are starting to, and you're starting to realize, wow, like, you know what? I'm getting older. I got to start changing my why. But you have to master the art of having a powerful why. Most people don't ever master it because most people don't ever get in touch with it. You got to spend some time realizing what you want, because what you want, you also have to want what that want leads to, right? So if you really want to have a kick-ass body and you want to have a flat abs and you want to have a tight toned physique, fit in all your clothes, look good naked, have that confidence, you also have to know what's going to require you to actually achieve that, right? You got to want to have some discipline. You got to want to have some healthy habits built in. And unless you're willing to, there's going to be some sacrifice, but I can just assure you that if your why is powerful enough, then the way to get there is not going to be that hard. So first and foremost, you have to master the art of having a powerful why. That's number one. Number two, I want you to write now, number two, it's the E for the melt. E is I want you to put eliminate. And here, when I say eliminate, you have to eliminate confusion, lots of confusion, right? How many different ways have you been told to lose 20 pounds of belly fat, right? Over the years, like think about how many times that you've been told, whether it be from marketing or your friends, hey, take these fat loss gummies, or hey, I took this HCG. Hey, if you just eat 500 calories and take these injections, like, or even from medical and doctors, like telling you, oh, you know what, you got to go on this diabetes medicine, right? Like it's going to help your diabetes, but you're just in there because you want to lose weight, like most of the people. Don't lie to me, okay? Or it could be even way back in the day, right? When you were doing Weight Watchers. I even heard the other day somebody was sharing with me, somebody that was doing Weight Watchers, and like they've been on it like a dozen times. And the bottom line is, if those companies really worked, then there probably wouldn't be more people on Weight Watchers because everybody'd be in shape. They'd have no weight to lose, right? The goal for a lot of those companies is to truly make money off of you. Unfortunately, I wish they had they had your livelihood in their best interest, but they honestly have their pocketbooks. And you're like, well, how is that any different from what you do? My goal is to equip you. My goal is to help you eliminate confusion by having a bulletproof plan. Now, when I say bulletproof plan to execute, you have a clear path and a plan. No, most women struggle with their belly fat because they just don't have a legit plan that's going to serve them or their bodies and take them into the future of health. The difference between what we do and what doctors, my goal is that you, after a while, unless you want to go to a higher level, then we welcome you with open arms. But a lot of times it's like, hey, help me get to where I need to be equipped to get this weight off. And I want to learn this. It's a skill set. Like dieting is not a skill set. Like you go on a diet. It's not a skill set to take a appetite suppressant. It's not a skill set to do Weight Watchers and eat Weight Watcher food, right? There's a skill set to learning how to actually truly do this. But the only way to do that is you got to eliminate confusion. So what we do, and I hope here, is helping you eliminate confusion. Being confused, because a lot of people there's a lot of corporations that are spending lots and lots of money on advertising, big dollars. I can't compete with that. But what you can do is become a better educated advocate for your health, not a better consumer for dieting, right? Does that make sense? Hope it does. Let's go into number 2, or the E, is to eliminate confusion by having a bulletproof plan to execute. You got to execute the plan. You can't just have a plan. It's no different than watching this and not applying the knowledge that you learned from me. Number 3, the L, is you got to let go. This one's a hard one because it's easier for me to say. It's really harder for you to actually do. You got to let go of limiting beliefs that keep tricking you into believing that you won't have to do the work. Like, can I say that 4 more times? You got to let go of the limiting beliefs that keep tricking you into believing that you don't have to do the work. That's probably the single hardest thing about getting your body in great shape. Nobody can do it for you. No coach, no doctor, no family member. Like, this is something that you have to take 100% complete ownership. And usually the problem that gets in the way, or the roadblock that gets in the way, is that you have these limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs is that a pill is going to do it for you, that a doctor's injection is going to do it for you, that starving yourself is going to do it for you, that, counting macros is going to do it for you. Those are all things that can help you lose weight. But again, what they're going to do is limit your belief and thinking that it's only because of those that you're getting in great shape and losing weight. It's not. It's actually because of the skill set and the habits that you develop over time. The best skill set that you can develop for your health is to eliminate the beliefs. Oh, I'm just getting older. It's just my hormones. Oh, I just don't have the time. Oh, I wish I just had, the hard thing I hear from a lot of people too is, oh, I wish I just, you don't understand, times are tough. I don't really have a lot of money to invest in myself. It honestly is the worst cop out of them all. If you don't have finances to invest in yourself, but you do for everything else in your life, all the things of the world, you're like, oh no, this is about survival. Yes, exactly. It's exactly the reason why you need to be healthy and fit. It's why it should be one of the things that you put at the top priority when it comes to whether you're working with a coach or getting the help that you need from somewhere else. Again, I'm not saying you have to invest in me, but you do need to invest in yourself. And the only reason why chances are a lot of times you're not where you want to be with your weight and belly fat and getting off is because you have limiting beliefs. And what's really great in our inner circle and even in our Freedom 8 program, and even to some of you guys, you're borrowing the belief first. And it's okay to borrow the belief until you actually believe in yourself. Sometimes seeing other people achieving what you want to achieve is really a helpful way to believe. But if you're looking at other people that are doing diets, crash dieting and doing ketos and starving themselves skinny and they're miserable, like, do you think that's any belief that you want to borrow from somebody else? Not really. I'll just speak for myself. I don't want to borrow anybody else's belief when it comes to not taking care of themselves the right way. Right? There's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and there's a permanent way, a solution-based way, a guaranteed approach, and one that's just going to leave you unsatisfied when the 20 pounds of belly fat come back on. So number 4, the fourth thing, and the last thing, and then we got to roll along because I got a lot to share with you today, is trust. And this is like, these 4 here, it's like literally it's the nail in the coffin. You got to trust the plan and be patient with yourself. Most people, because you're not told to. Hey, I lost 30 pounds eating these weight loss gummies. Oh my gosh, I did this prepackaged food company. What is it called? Whatever. It's Metagen. Well, it's not even that. There was Nutrisystems. That was a little while back. And then I can't even think Optavia and all these other things. And again, I'm not here just to knock that. Well, yes, I am, in fact, because what happens is you end up spending a lot of money and not getting a lot of results. You might lose some weight because you're eating a prepackaged food, but the garbage that you're putting in with all the process that goes in behind that stuff. Again, you got to be a better advocate of your health, not even a consumer. I don't even like that because I think like a better consumer, like you don't want to just consume this information. I want you to become a better advocate, and this is what this training is all about. Just to help you lose and melt those 20 pounds, but also know that it's going to require you to master the art of having a powerful why, eliminate confusion by having a bulletproof plan, letting go of limiting beliefs, and trusting the plan and being patient with yourself. It's okay if you screw up on the weekend, but if you screw up on the weekend and that throws you into a downward spiral that takes you through the rest of the holidays, like that you know where that's going to lead you to, right? So the best way you can fight against that is to take this knowledge that you learned from me. Now I'm going to go into next thing, how we can help you. But we need to understand like what we're talking about when we're talking 20 pounds of belly fat. So can I share with you next about belly fat? We'll just do a quick review. I've shared this in the trainings before. What is belly fat, right? You may have heard like belly fat. We're like, that's the stuff that's sitting right here in front of me. I look down and that's belly fat. But actually, belly fat is excess weight that develops over time around the center of the body, right? No, that's a no-brainer. The squishy part, the layer under the skin, that's called the subcutaneous, like right underneath the skin. And then there's the deeper fat. That's where a lot of times where doctors start to get concerned. And when you have different issues and organs, you have things when you talk about like fatty livers and you think about like the interior of your organs inside of your gut. You know, all your organs, your vitals are right here. And the visceral fat is basically that lies between, it's kind of deeper in your torso and your intestines, around your intestines and your liver and stomach and in line your arteries. So, well, why does all the fat go there? Well, it's because if you think about it in like survival terms, when you're eating excess food and maybe not being active, you're like storing the fat. It's going to go to the areas that are going to be most vulnerable. Like fat needs to be stored to protect the organs. So your body thinks you're going into protective mode. That's why a lot of the fat gets carried down in the belly. Does that make sense? Pretty straightforward, right? I don't want to spend too much time in here. So how much belly fat is too much belly fat? Well, I mean, of course, you can look on the visual side, and if you see and you're like, hey, you know what? It's not that bad compared to my neighbor who's got 100 pounds. But if you're comparing like apples and oranges, like that's no way to actually compare. Like basically what it comes down to for women, it's about 40 inches or more, 35 inches for women and 40 inches for men. So waist measurements, if you're just going to go around and measure 35 inches, anything more than that is going to be excessive. And that's just including visceral and subcutaneous. So just keep that. All you got to do is get one of those tape measures. You're like a marker on a tape measure, just get a string, measure it, and then use your, the tape measure you might have in your house or measuring stuff in your house. Like if you see a builder using that kind of tape measure, and then just measure it and see. You could do that right now. Oh, don't stop watching here. Wait until you're done. It's an easy way to measure. And you guys know, obviously, I don't have to go into all the details of why it's dangerous, because obviously it's attributed to heart disease and heart attacks and high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and breast cancer and fatty liver disease and pancreatitis and dementia and colon cancer and other kinds of cancers. And, obviously the other mental part of it, which can lead you into depression when you're looking at your body and it's overweight and out of shape and you see excess belly fat. And that ends up where you can be put on medications that can throw you all in a whole different loop. So like, can you, aside from, the aesthetic look of being uncomfortable in your own skin, literally your body is going to be uncomfortable in its own skin of the excess belly fat if you don't take care of it. And of course, the early risk for death, and not to mention high risk for things that all high risk, excess belly fat, all health issues that you have high risk for when you have excess belly fat. When you're not in as good a shape, you're going to be a high risk for just about everything that's out there. I'm not going to go into all those things. And like, here are the reasons. I'm just going to rattle off like maybe 6 or 8 of them, right? And you can even write down, some of the things that you might have. Maybe it's something related. Maybe some of these will actually relate to you. You don't eat enough veggies. Like, these are maybe why the belly fat is coming back on, or maybe why it's not going away. You don't practice mindful eating. You eat too much food. You're not being kind or patient to yourself. Spending more time on social media than you are out moving. You're eating out every night. You're eating through the drive-thru. You're taking your kids through the drive-thru, right? You don't get a good night's sleep. How about you drink too much beer? You eat the wrong fats. You're working out the wrong way, or maybe you're not even working out at all right now, right? Maybe you're working out too hard. Maybe you're that type of person who's eating low fat or even the fat-free kind of diet. You've been told, hey, fat-free, I'm not going to gain fat, right? Those types of things. So there's only really 3 important things to consider if you have too much belly fat. 3, like there's a lot of things attributed, right? Health history, hormones. I'm not getting into those today, but there's 3 most important things. If you can get these 3, like they're the key elements to consider, and knowing whether or not you have too much belly fat. And really, here's what it comes down to. There's 3 things. It's how much food, calories, energy. Food, calories, energy. All mean the same thing. Food is calories, calories is energy. How much energy do you consume per day? Like, think of it in terms of energy, not calories or food. How much energy do you consume a day? How much energy, the second thing, how much energy do you burn off throughout the day, right? Simple equation. Calories in, calories out. No, Mark. No, that's not. That's like, just don't tell me it's calories in, calories out. Well, I hate to break it to you. That's how we're built. It's energy in, energy out. Calorie deficit. It really just comes down to that. And of course your age, because as you age, your body slows down. And if you're not mindful to adjust and accommodate to the changes in the different seasons of life, like I shared with you, we don't have the metabolism we did back when we were 20, right? And some of you may have even struggled when you were 20. So those are really the 3 most important things. And of course, like if you eat too much and exercise too little, you're going to probably carry some excess belly fat. If your muscle mass decreases slightly with age, which it typically does if you're not strength training on a regular basis, and I say not just doing the same 10-pound dumbbell curls you've been doing for 20 years, because that's honestly a whole nother conversation, maybe a whole nother training. But you have to actually work towards improving, or at least sustaining, the muscle that you do have. And that's truly been one of the groundbreaking elements of our program for our students, not just to lose weight, but the belly fat stays off because their bodies are transforming. And you see all the best people, go to the gym and look at the people your age that are strength training, and you can see they know what they're doing. Look at their bodies, and then go look at the people that are doing a class here or there, and maybe just walking aimlessly on a treadmill, or not even going to the gym at all and just dieting, right? So the other thing, as far as in lines with what I'm talking about with calories in and out and your age and stuff, you lose muscle mass over the age. And that when you lose muscle mass, then your intake of calories has to adjust. And most people don't know how to adjust with that. Most women do also notice with belly fat that with estrogen, like I'd mentioned, I'm not going to go into a deep dive into the hormone part of it, but that also will affect. But a lot of times, most women I talk to, they use it as an excuse, and then I talk to them about their diet and exercise, and that's actually the things that they actually can control. Well, let me just get my hormones in line and then see if that's what's going to be what really I need to do. I won't need to exercise or eat healthy. It's just all of my hormones. And that's actually a lie too. Just so you know, if a doctor's telling you, no, you'll be able to clean this up, you get your hormones. No, you got to exercise and you got to eat right. Like if you want this to happen, if you want the belly fat to go, you want 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 80, 100 pounds of fat you have around your body, you're going to have to make some significant changes if you want to see significant change. Now, how long does it take to get this belly fat off, right? Your first 20 pounds. So I'm going to give you the secret right now. You guys want the secret? I love to give you the secret. So step 1, and this is guaranteed, how to melt your first 20 pounds off, guaranteed. Know how much your body needs. How the hell do I know how much my body needs, Mark? How much food does your body need? Well, let's just review. This is not what I make up. This is you can go look it up yourself. You could Google search a lot of this stuff. Go Google search this after. Pound of fat, 3,500 calories. So 3,500 calories is a pound of fat. You can use a calculator, calorie calculator. We're just talking like calories now, right? But I'm just going to give you an example. But you can search up calorie calculator. We do it for our students. They don't even have to think about it because we don't have our students count calories, which is kind of crazy. We don't have our students we don't have their students do macros either. They don't even weigh their food. We teach them the more sustainable approach to tracking their food. And if they do it properly, they're guaranteed success. But just so you guys know, as far as step 1, know how much your body needs. Fortunately, I've worked with thousands of women over the years. So I know based on what women's goals are and where they're at, if they're trying to lose 20, 40, 80, 50 pounds, anything in that 5 pounds, I'll know exactly what they need. So here's what happens. 3,500 calories a pound of fat. So let's say, for example, a calculator, you need 25, say your body personally needs 2,500 calories to maintain your body weight. You need, say it's 2,500. Now this is just arbitrary. Let's just do this. And if you take and you're trying to lose weight, and now losing weight 1 to 2 pounds a week is a good. If you have some of you, oh, Mark, I lost like 20 pounds in the last 2 weeks. I guarantee you that's going to come back very, very quick, because they're doing something very, very extreme, and usually extreme comes back and bounces back extreme the other direction. And that's usually, where all hell breaks loose. So let's just talk simple math here. 2,000 calorie intake. That's about what you're taking in. So there's on there, say, so if it's 2,500 calories that you're taking in, and you eat 2,000, what's the deficit? 500, right? 2,500 minus 2,000. So if you're to maintain your weight is 2,500 calories, and I say, okay, you're going to eat 2,000 calories. There's 500 calories. If you do it properly, 500 calories per day that you would basically like rack up. In other words, like you would be able, a net loss of 500 calories. Times that by 7 is what? 5 times 7 is 3,500. I'm not even good at math, but I know this. 3,500 calories. That's essentially a pound a week. Now, there's a lot of nuances to that, but essentially what you can understand is that's what it is. So let's just say you want to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. And you're like, well, Mark, I've done that, but I didn't. I guarantee you there's something else to that. There's a lot more, but I was giving you the basic breakdown. But you need to know how much your body needs, right? If you're trying to lose 20 pounds, think about doing the math. It's 20 pounds is essentially, if we're to do the math of how many calories, let's just say on a standpoint, you would need to lose in order to get the 20 pounds off. Well, okay, if 1 pound is 3,500, then 10 pounds is 35,000, right? I think that's right. And then 20 pounds is 70,000 calories. So you can even put a bank, like you could do like, when they do those, what are they called? Fundraisers, right? You could do the fundraisers where you could do something like that, a fundraiser of 70,000 calories. And then you could work kind of backwards, like do a deconstruction of it and work back towards like you want to be able to lose 70,000 calories to get this 20 pounds off. Essentially, if you did the work to do that now, again, I don't have any of my students do that because we just eliminate all of that work. But I wanted to share with you why it's important. Because you need to understand that it is a body that's going to move more. Look, if you're dieting, even if you're eating healthy, I talk to people all the time, Mark, I eat all the healthy things I need. And I just don't know why I'm losing weight. And a lot of times the ones that are eating healthy are not really working out. And then I hear the opposite. I hear people, Mark, I really am working. I work out all the time. I work out hard. I'm doing this classes and Pilates and yoga, and I'm working in the gym, doing all stuff. And you're not paying attention to your nutrition. Usually one of those two things is the big factor. And then obviously some of the other things that added into it. But that's number one. Step one is you got to understand how much food your body needs, right? And then what we do with our students is work with our students on our Brave program one-on-one. We work and we have there's checks and balances throughout the week. We look at your progress, right? One of the things we do is adjust based on progress. The hardest part is literally just making sure that people are following the plan. Like I guarantee all of our students to get results, guaranteed, 100% guarantee, provided you follow the plan. The problem comes where it's following the plan, right? And again, same thing. Knowledge without application, without taking action is useless. So if you're just going to listen to me and not apply the knowledge, you might as well just cut it off and go, watch some news or, go grocery shopping or hang out and watch some Netflix. Totally cool. Like no harm, no foul. But I'm looking for the women that actually want to see change and want real change. If you're here, you want real change. I want you to say, yes, please. Just drop it down. Not you're saying it to me, to yourself. Yes, please. Like you want to change. Even if you've been here, even if you're a coaching client, even if you're a coach, do you want change in your life? Do you want to keep changing? Our lives are going to be changing. We are getting older, right? We can't necessarily change the fact that we are aging. I just turned 51 a couple weeks ago. Yes, but you can slow the process and you can actually enhance your life at the same time, right? But you have to be willing to apply this knowledge. Number two, you got to fine tune your portion control. Now, let me just tweak that because I added something to it as I was reviewing this. You have to fine tune your portion control. Not only that, your quality control. A lot of times the diets that you see that are out there, you think of Weight Watchers, they have points and stuff. There's no quality control. It's all it's the calorie or the point control, right? Oh, well, this is no points. I can eat this, but it's terrible. It's all prepackaged. It's garbage, fat-free, sugar-free, all that kind of nonsense, right? So you got to fine tune not only your portion control, but also your quality control, meaning the portions, you got to control that, right? And we teach that. We teach our women learn how portion control using this. And guess what? If you have at least one of these, if you have at least one hand, you can learn to portion control wherever you go, no matter what. If you're at a holiday party, if you're on vacation, you're on a cruise, you're out on the ski slopes, you don't have to weigh your food. You don't have to well, how many calories is this? Let me take a picture of the back of it and see. It's all nonsense. It's not sustainable. Those are all things that really waste your time and truly are not something that you're going to want to do forever. This you can have it oh yeah, that's what I need to have size of protein, right? Oh, this is how much fat I can have, those types of things. And I'm not going to give you all the secrets. For that, you got to come into our program. You got to learn more about that from us and from the women that are kicking ass. And they truly are. So fine-tuning portion control. Here's a way you can do it right now. You don't need a coach to do this. You can track your food. Use a journal, track your food, use an app. You can do old school. You can write it in a notebook, right? Are you going to do it? We'll get to that in a minute. And here's the caveat to that. Here's the key to fine-tuning your portion control and quality. It's not enough to just track your progress. It's not enough. You can't just if you had, say, MyFitnessPal, which is one of the most used apps probably out there as far as for people that are tracking. You're oh, I just put it in and hey, you know what? Now they make it easy. You can just copy and paste. You don't think about it. So you're oh, I'm just going to put it in there. And then you're is this really valuable? What you focus on will grow. Well, you're not really focused on it because it's so easy now to track your food, right? With an app, then you don't look at it the rest of the day. The problem most people with, I say fine tuning your portion control and quality control is to actually reflect on the food you eat daily. How did that make you feel? What caused you to eat what you ate? There's a cause and effect most of the time. And it's called having a good relationship with food or a poor relationship with food. Can we all admit? I'll be the first to admit, if you've had, maybe you're experiencing now, a poor relationship with food. Hey, I like good, delicious treats, and I like savory foods, and I like pizza, and I like fried chicken. I like all kinds of food, right? But you have to learn that in order for you to have a better relationship with food, that you're going to need to spend some time reflecting. It's no different in life. You want to have a good relationship with your children, what do? You have to reflect and spend time with your children. Let's just say for those of you that are, if you're a man or woman of faith and you want a good relationship with God, then you need to reflect on the time that you spend with God. It's no different than anything. You want to have a good relationship with your spouse, you're going to need to reflect and understand and take some time to reflect on your relationship with your spouse. It's no different. It's no different. Now, obviously, the importance of those things will vary, of course. But again, if you're not reflecting on the food and you're just tracking it, it's kind of like doing the checklist, right? Oh, well, we had date night this week, but you're not really truly enjoying having good conversation. Oh, no, we just did it because that's what we do. Or, hey, it's oh, we got to do this with the kids because that's what we do as parents, right? Versus actually taking the time to reflect. Good. So let's move forward. Number 3, step 3, I should say, and there's 6 steps to this. So let's get through them because I usually said 20 minutes, but I think these have been about an hour long. And I want to make sure that, again, I don't mind chatting. And if you guys are listening and you're valuing this, I want to make sure you get all of this information because, again, learning this and being able to apply it is going to be key. Also, number 3, so really the third part to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat, we talked about knowing how much your body needs, of being able to fine tune and your portion control and quality control. And then obviously when you reflect on it, you can look. If you reflect on what you ate for the week, guarantee you're going to look and see about making other choices. And I wish I could say was that this is all you need because the hardest part is actually just doing it, is actually doing the work. Now, the next thing is this, and this sometimes is not as hard, but it is something that's very important because it's really neat to be more active. When I say neat, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So non-exercise activity. So aside from the time you go and you do a run on your treadmill, aside from the time you go to the gym or do your YouTube workout or do the workout from, that you had on your app, on your phone or something like that. You got to think of the other times you're active. A lot of times, a big challenge for people as we get older, we're just less active. I'm going to encourage you, if you guys don't see, if you're not following any of my stuff, I try to be as active as I possibly can on top of the exercise that I do. In fact, it's a means to be able to do more of the fun things that I enjoy doing. Now, whether you want to bike ride or, it's getting cold out, it's 29 degrees here. You want to ski or snowboard or maybe go ice skating or rollerblading. Yes, roller skating. Or you want to go for a jog or for you want to go out in nature and do some hiking. We've been enjoying that here. Those type of things. Now, those, I don't consider those my exercise. Now, even it could be something as simple as doing work around the house, doing gardening, those are like non-exercise activity thermogenesis, right? Just moving your body, getting up and moving. Even something, instead of sitting at your desk, I have an adjustable desk here that I often raise, and standing at your desk, it's going to require that your body uses more energy, right? And we know that energy in and energy out. We talked about that earlier. Step 4 is, this one is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that ab exercises are not valuable, but please, if you're trying to lose 20 pounds of belly fat, just stop doing all the BS, the BS exercise, the ab exercise. Stop doing those. Stop wasting your time. You're better off spending that time reflecting on your food. If you were to spend 20 minutes a day reflecting on your food, making a plan, adjusting, learning from mistakes, you're going to get that belly fat off quicker than you are by spending 20 minutes a day doing abs. I guarantee it. I 1000% guarantee that. Spot reducing, in other words, you can tone your abs. That's another conversation. Once the belly fat's gone, then you can work on the tone and definition. If you're looking to get flatter, tighter, toner abs, it's a different conversation than it is to think that an ab exercise is going to reduce belly fat. It isn't. It's a myth. It's called spot reducing. You can go look it up. Spot reducing is a myth. You can't remove belly fat from doing ab exercise. Number 5, we got two more. Number 5, and managing this one's hard, because when you reflect, maybe you do number 2, you're reflecting on your food and you get emotional, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I ate that half gallon of ice cream. Part of the learning and skill set of developing a healthy, trimmed, lean body, tight abs, flat stomach, is being able to manage your emotions and your stress. Because what happens with stress, those hormones, those cortisol gets in your body and it makes it really hard. So if you don't do well with managing your emotions, you don't have an outlet, you don't have a support system. I did already give away number 6. But if, again, you're not able to manage your emotions and stress well, what's going to do it for you? Your mouth is going to. You're going to eat food. Like, food is an emotional, lifesaver, but it really doesn't save your life. It actually does the opposite. So if you can learn how to better manage your emotions. Now, again, here's the thing. Prayer is great. Quiet time is great. Having some friendships that you can lean on and trust, those are all great things to help manage. And I do this well, I'm managing that well. Chances are there's probably one of these 6 things that you don't have dialed in, or more. Could be all 6. Could be you're like, Mark, you hit all the nails on the head. I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And maybe part of the reason why you're still stuck too is you really have a hard time with the emotional part. Maybe that's why you're not able to. Maybe you're thinking, man, if I just do some ab exercises, that's, if I just do that, I'll feel better. And then you don't feel better because you don't see the abs tighten. Or you do the whole calorie counting and you track your stuff, but you're not patient with yourself in the process, right? You don't give yourself time because you saw your friend that lost 20 pounds eating some weight loss gummies. And you're like, oh, I just got to do that. That's going to be much easier. You want the path of least resistance. The problem is it ends up causing more resistance down the road. I know this because, listen, if any of that worked, I would be the first one to sell it to you. But on an integrity side, I know it doesn't. It hasn't worked for 30 years. I've been doing this for that long. All the stuff that's been around, all the pills and the potions and the magic tricks and the starvation diets and the cabbage soup and the you can't eat past this time, the intermittent fasting, all those things, none of those are really sustainable for lifelong success. No, they truly are not. And they're only going to leave you dissatisfied. The last part is, and I believe this truly what makes what we do in our program and our team does for the women in our program is having the foolproof support system. You see, like without a support system, you can have all the intentions of doing all the stuff, and then one thing just slips up. You have, something at work throws you off, maybe something in your relationship with your a family member or spouse, you have a death in the family, or, all of these things happen in our program. So if you think like, oh no, Mark, you just don't understand what's going on with me, I guarantee you that I've experienced it. At least I worked with thousands of women. I guarantee one of our team members and myself have experienced, because it's going on right now in our program. The difference between the women in our program that are working with us, they have a support system. They have accountability. They have check-in calls. They have like a coach like on their shoulder, like nudging them. Hey, why didn't you do your check-in? Why didn't you do your pictures? Again, we don't babysit. We're all adults here. You got to take ownership of it. In fact, one of the things that is really the most valuable parts of our program is we won't come to the table. We won't want this more for you than you have to want it for yourself. I don't care how much you invest in yourself. I don't care how amazing the coach is, the trainer is, or your therapist is. You have to want this more. You have to want the 20 pounds of belly fat, and you can plug in your goal. You got your why, what we talked about in the beginning, right? Like that was the first thing we talked about is in the very, 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 very beginning, in the master and art of a powerful why. Like that has to be that's why we share that as the very first and foremost thing. But then you have to take full ownership and you have to want this more than we want it for you. Like that is just the truth. Like you have to want this. And I tell my coaches, and they know, and we've had some pushback. We've even had women that are like falling off the program, falling to the side. We will not come to the table 51%. Will not. We will not want this more than you want it for yourself. How is it going to benefit you? How is it going to benefit you or your health or your body or your results if we're doing more for you than you're doing for yourself? It's not how it works, right? That's just not how it works. I hate to break it to you. If you find another way that it works where you can get your body in the best shape of your life and you don't have to you can do like 47% of the work, good luck. I don't know a single woman in our program that's been one of our success stories. In fact, this past 2 weeks, we've been interviewing women that are just, it gets me goosebumps because they're not only, their lives are changing, their bodies are changing, their confidence is changing. Like doors are opening in their lives now. They have better relationships with their spouse. They're having their spouses. They have family members that are actually crushing their health and fitness goals. Teenagers. We had one of our students whose teenager dropped like 40 pounds. It's amazing. And the mom dropped like 90 pounds. We have other clients. The women are doing so well in our program. The husbands are like, they're actually losing weight. Their A1Cs are dropping. They're starting to move with them. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. But again, all that has to come, not you pushing your spouse. You have to want it more for yourself than we want it for you. It's really that simple. And let me just review real quick. Does that make sense? Truly, like that's the 6 steps. That's all you need, 6 steps. You're like, oh my gosh, that's like hard. So let's just review them really quick. You got to know how much food your body needs. Step 1. You got to fine tune your portion control, step 2, and quality control, step 2. Step 3, your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You got to get moving more. You got to get out. We ask our students to do 10,000 steps. That's part of their workout program, but that just becomes more routine. We have women that are doing 10, 20,000 steps. They're doing, 50 push-ups every day, and they've been doing it for like the whole year. We have people that are doing crazy, exciting new things because they're stepping outside of their comfort zone, but also because they're using the key, which is non-exercise activity. Thermogenesis means what it's going to do is to help rev your body up. It's going to help rev your engine up. And when you rev your engine up, it's going to require more energy. More energy comes from the calories. It comes from the food. Boom. There you go. That just kind of like magnifies the success rate of you losing belly fat. And then number 4 is you got to stop doing all the BS AB exercises. You got to stop doing all those ab exercises if you think that's going to spot reduce. Just do me a favor. Don't be that person in the gym that has 30, 40, 50 pounds of belly fat and you're doing crunch sit-ups in the corner thinking that that's going to remove it. Don't get me wrong. Hey, it's doing better than doing nothing, but don't waste your time. Spend the time actually reflecting on your food and actually working that. That's going to be your best benefit for this. Number 5, you got to manage your emotions. I'm an emotional person, I will just say, and I'm sure, I know women are. Maybe that's why I connect well with them, but I can share with you, you have to be able to manage your emotions and stress. You have to better manage that. And the last part really helps with this, is that it's way harder for you to manage your emotions and stress on your own. It's way harder for you to understand what non-exercise exercise should do. It's much harder for you to fine-tune your portion control and your quality control. It's much harder for you to know how much your body needs. And over time, it will adjust without having the support system. It truly comes down to, this is where we're going to finish, is having a support system. Like you having a support system. Here's where I've seen it fail often. I just heard this the other day from somebody else that was doing an interview. One of our students shared, I won't disclose them. You'll probably hear it when I share the video. So they'll be coming out very soon. We have a whole bunch of them coming out, and they're awesome. And they're all unique and different, and they're all in their different whys, their own pursuits. But this one woman was sharing me that a lot of her friends have been like really putting her down, like giving her a hard time. Like, what are you trying to prove? You're this age and you shouldn't have to worry about it. Like, they're almost becoming saboteurs, almost like hating on this person. And the person's like really bettering themselves to so many levels, losing weight, feeling great, having more energy. But the problem is, and this is truly, you might experience this, maybe you haven't yet, but it's not a bad problem. It is initially, but when you learn how to deal with it and you learn how the skill set of taking care of this, you have the support system, is when you're moving forward on your health, there's going to be times where you see other people that aren't. And when you start to get results, other people are going to be reflecting on what they're not achieving because you're starting to achieve those. And that could be somebody as close as a family member, spouse. I've heard this many, many times before where spouses have kind of almost tried to sabotage their wives' effort. I'm talking now because we right now currently are working with women. So in our program, there's been a lot of times where the women's talked about their spouses, and not that they don't love them. It's just when they start to make changes, it just starts to become a reflection on what they're not doing themselves. And a lot of times in couples, what I've seen is the couples that work out together stay healthy together. Couples that eat a lot of extra food and go out a lot and drink a lot and party a lot and eat excess calories tend to do that together. So when one changes, it makes it really hard for the others. That was a little extra bonus there. So outside of that, now that I've shared with you kind of the 6 steps and I've shared with you how to melt your first 20 pounds of belly fat, realize that could be your first 20 pounds. It could be your first 2 pounds. It could be your first 10 pounds. It can be your second 20 pounds. It can be the good news about this. If you start to do this and you do it right and you learn from your mistakes and you continue to pursue better health, the sky's the limit to how far you can go with not just eliminating belly fat, but actually adding to yourself value that's going to take you a lifetime of success to enjoy. And that's what it's all about. Now, there's ways to do this. You can do this on your own, potentially, but I guess if you've been struggling and you're still struggling, you're in your maybe 40s or 50s or 60s, chances are you've probably tried a lot, maybe parts of this or components. But I have to kind of come back to that number 6, where it's the support system. Like, we have a support system that's second to none. And I have a step-by-step system that I've developed over, like I mentioned, 30 years. That's not only helped myself and my family members, my wife, and even close loved ones and relatives, but it's helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women. It's helped our 3 success coaches that were all success stories from our program that went on to become now our success coaches and that are helping women. But truly, like, to get lean and tone, reduce belly fat, get the fat off of the body once and for all, and to do so without crazy, ridiculous long workouts or impossible dieting. And the good news is with this, and if you listen to this part, you're going to be excited. And if you're a coaching client, just want to say thank you, appreciate you if you've been in our program. There's going to be some of you guys that will just listen to this and not apply a lot of people that'll listen to this maybe and not apply it. Like, oh yeah, Mark, you've told me this before, and you just not apply it. That's fine. I understand that. There's going to be 1 or 2 of you out there that are like, you know what? I've been listening to this guy. I've been in his group for a while. I've been in here, and trust me, I know this because this is what happens. And you're like, you had enough. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're ready. And I need to make opportunities for you to be ready. In fact, you guys know this is not something, I wish I won the lottery. I didn't win the billions. And I wish I was just independently wealthy. This is my livelihood. This is what I do to help put food on the table, lighting, heat for this house now that we live here in Colorado. But just so you know that I always want to make opportunities for you to get the help that you need. And for my birthday, you guys may have seen that I turned 51. I have something I've never done before. I try to come up with new, exciting ways to offer. I have 2 different programs, and as of turning 51, and I was up on Everest Mountain a few weeks ago. It was great. But I didn't get a chance to really celebrate because we were celebrating doing that big event and getting the best results of your life. And 20 pounds of belly fat is that's so simple on our end. We can help you with doing that, and really the sky's the limit. It's just how much you want to achieve, how in shape do you want to get into. In this world we're living in, it's only going to benefit you on every single level if you get your body in the best shape of your life right now. I can guarantee you that. Anyway, that's it for me. Take care. Have a blessed one. See you later.